Hey everyone, welcome back to the Chessyard. This is the Rebagga, and I'll be playing the 5 minute blitz today on leeches. And I'll try to be instructive as much as possible so that it helps you improve your game. C65, Karokan defense against whatever white plays. He takes, so exchange variation. I also take back. Bishop goes to f5, and once the opponent offers the bishop, take it back. The idea is pretty simple. Once he takes, you get to open up the h file. Always a good attacking option. Exchange the dark square bishops. Removing the defenders. Knight hops in. You can take on the knight if he doesn't. Okay, let's take. Oh, he takes. Threatening mate in one. He defends. Let's hop in with the knight. He stops that as well. Amazing. I can still sack. Now I can't. Since I can't do that, is there something else we can manufacture here? Let's get the rook on the empty file. Push the pawn. Let's exchange the center pawn. I can castle anytime I want. Need to create some weaknesses in his part of the board. Queen comes. Have to castle another option. Have to save everything. Had to save the pawn. Oh, it was guarded with the knight. Could have avoided the castle then. It's okay. Let's get going with the rook. And now the rook is attacking the queen. He has to move the queen. Can we get the knight into action now? The knight is pretty much pretty good sitting there. The idea is to fork him somehow. Let's see if I can falter him somewhere. He's attacking the queen. Let's go here with the queen on c5. If I take the knight out of the equation, no, it doesn't solve anything. What is the best thing to do here? I have to get the knight involved. Can't wait for him to make mistakes. Have to go and do some maneuvering with the knight. Also, the rook is pretty solid here, controlling the entire rank. If he pushes the pawn forward, I can just capture on the pawn. At worst, if required, I can take on the knight if the rook is being trapped. So, yeah, good so far. If I was in his position, I would have just tried to open up from the other side of the board. He's attacking the pawn, so I'll just make a clever move here, which is pawn to d4, defending the pawn as well. Okay, let's. Ah, no, I can't move that again. I have to defend with the rook, stacking it thrice, so defending it thrice. Can I push the pawn forward? Let's see what he does. Is he bothered at all? Yes, he is. I can take with the knight. The knight is coming to a very good square, e3. Forking king and the rook, and he defends it for now. Oh, that's a good defense, but my friend, knights are very active. His idea was if I do a fork right away, he can capture. After I take, the queen is attacking the rook with a check. I'll be losing a piece. So, again, very nicely done. I take. Can I just exchange the queens here? Or how about moving the pawn forward? Let's push the pawn forward. It's an indirect attack on the queen as well with the rook. He sees it, offering queen exchange, which I don't want to right away. I'll give a check. If I can somehow make sure there's no last rank weakness, that's where I can start to dominate him a bit more. Have to take care of time as well. Very complex game, I must say. Um, can I just threaten the queen here? I think I can. It's good. Okay. He takes. There's no check happening. I have to take the queen. Let's get on with the two rooks then. Oh, wait. I have a pawn for free to be taken. Why I miss free pawns? Let's go here, trying to maintain distance between both the rooks so that they are not forked. Okay, where is he going? Nowhere. This should be helpful. Is there some mate waiting for him? No? Where does he go? Check. Check. He saves on time. Phew, but I was winning on the position, thankfully. That says what is more important here. Up 6.8 ahead. Was there a mate somewhere at the end that I couldn't gather? No, there wasn't. Just looked like whenever an opponent goes out of options, so Feels like there's a mate around the corner, but there wasn't. Let's quickly analyze the game once. Start with d4, c6, then e4, d5. The Karukan defends. He takes, so the exchange variation of the Karukan. He develops the knight, and I develop the bishop first on f5. He offers bishop exchange, which I generally deny and go back to g6. And then he castles. I move e6. He develops the dark square bishop. On f4, here I offer him the exchange of the dark square bishops on d6. He takes, I take back. He gets the knight on e5. I got the knight on c6 for exchanging. He does take back with the pawn. So always try to make sure that your pawns are more centralized than being isolated. Uh, and there he moves, takes on g6 finally. I take back with the h file, opening up the h file. He moves g3 here. I get on with the knight to f6. He plays f3, weakening his king side. I went on with the knight to h5. He brings his king up, and then I try to get my rook on the empty file. He plays b3 here. I moved a5, trying to make sure that nothing gets opened up very quickly from his side. Then I finally play c5, which computer was testing from few moves. He doesn't take, so I take. He takes back with the queen, and then I castle. I didn't have to castle area up. Rook to c8 was better. Later on, that it wasn't required. Then it's fine. Still in pretty neutral game. So rook to c8, no mistakes so far, at least. And then trying to just attack the queen. He saves the queen. Okay, here I could have got advantage by moving queen to e5, which I missed. And then he plants his knight to a very good square. I get the queen on c5. He brings the rook in front. I move the knight. I had to just give away the pawn because if he takes, I have the rook to take back. And that's a pretty good situation to end up with. Probably missed this part. Let's go back in the game where I move the knight to f6. He brings back his queen, attacking the pawn. And I tried to defend it in a different way. Generally, discovered defense is something tough to see. But he spotted that, so he just aligned his rook in the center file. I also got the other rook on d8, making sure that I'm not losing on exchange. He moves queen to d3, and now finally the bishop on the pawn to g4, trying to break open. He takes, I take back. The rook is under attack. He gets it up. So here I was trying to explain that what was the problem. So I was initially trying to make sure that after the capture, if he moves his rook somewhere or he doesn't move his rook, and suppose he plays a passive move here, um, or let's say he moves his rook away, I give him a check. Point is, he can easily capture it because after I take back the rook, my other rook is hanging and it's with a check. So again, now he's a piece up after this, and position completely changes. That's what he was trying to do, letting me actually just give away my piece here. So which I didn't go fall for, but planted my knight on e5 here. Attack again, forking both the pieces. He saves the queen, so the rook goes. He takes with the king. Yes, the best move to push the pawn forward, attacking the queen as well. Here he gets back the queen. Oh, I had the diagonal. I missed the diagonal again. This was very nice. After he moves his king, his rook is gone. So comfortable win from there. Okay, I missed it. But I tried to give him a check from here. That was also okay. He moved backwards and then I had to get my rook on. Apparently, I was thinking this, but didn't play it eventually. Yep, I remember just calculating this somewhere. Okay, he tries to attack the rook. I should have just captured the pawn, but I went for the other way around. Queen exchange happened. Check. Taking on the free pawn. It's like pretty much okay from here. Not some blunders or mistakes, just a normal refutation, trying to trap the king. This was one point where I felt that is there a mate somewhere after I took on the knight as well now. Just moving away the king and another check, but he just managed to pull it off on time. A good game, and um, as I said, it's always okay to lose on time, but not on position. So I was pretty much winning in on position here, 8.2 in favor of black. So pretty happy with it. We'll try to improve from here on, as always. Thanks for watching and sharing your feedback as always. Would love to know your comments on this as well. Thanks so much for your time. Take care. Bye bye.